Yeah, we're just gonna come out and see how good this looks. I went and did a woman's shaver thing instead of regularly uh, doing a man's shaver. I always usually said the women's stuff works better most of the time anyway. Um, but most of their stuff smell better anyhow.
Yeah, but
So a lot of times, I prefer the opposite sex stuff than our own. But you know, uh, so anyway, we prayed wasn't really had a few things in it, but it wasn't really all that great. I'd say the Santa stuff always, probably the best. But yeah, there's too much talking and yakking. It took them over half hour things that you know uh, they started with. Still a huge difference, and so we took several pictures, but we'll see how it looked in the video. Don't look bad. Nope. But oh, there's something, honey?
yeah,
I want to do a little something? Okay. Oh, oopsie. Here, I'll hold it. There you go.
Good morning, everybody. I just, I'm in a good mood, so I know you guys don't usually see me in a good mood, but I've been in a good mood. I'm just doing a little bit of house chores. I just got done just watching ER. It's a new channel that I started watching. TV show and Top TV. So it's a new thing I'm trying out to see what's on there. I had to change just one channel on Top TV. It had all black people, and these two white men, killed a little girl, and I just changed it because it wanted to make me want to get sick. It's wrong for people, people to do that. If black people ain't mess with you, you don't mess with them. That's wrong. It's just wrong. And I ain't doing much today. Been just staying at home and watching TV. Like my husband said, we took a couple of pictures of him, with his new hair, his face being shaved. So it looks good so far. So that's Christmas, He said that he'd rather have a girl's stuff. So you can have one. Or Christmas trees.
Yeah.
Or your candies in there in the bucket. But there ain't much to talk about, It's just the same usual. Thanksgiving. Like my husband said, the Christmas party was too interesting to me. I thought, they would have more floats and no commercials, That gets irritating, And this is Catherine. I play pow doll.
She wanted to get up.
And she wanted to get up, so I put her in a I want to give this back to my husband so I can get some house chores done. See you guys in a little bit. All right, bye.
Oh. Well, yeah, not much to talk about, you know. Yeah, probably wife, you know. She's, you know, me, I help do, but you know, unfortunately, right now, not much, you know, can do about it. You know, the crowds out here, we're like the in between, or the outcasts. We're in that age group where you're still physically good shape, you know, good health and things like that. You want to get out and you want to go do something, you know. And I just think nobody's got the right, you know, stuff, you know, where it can be accomplished. But yeah, we had to come on last night late, put that short video out just in case, you know, any. Yeah, I've still got our stuff put out on here, but ain't no need to getting you know, anybody off here trying to be rude or mean. You know, if I said it once, I've said it, you know, feels like 1,000 times. You know, y'all got different situations from everybody else, and everybody doesn't have the same sort of things happen the way some of you do. But the ones that knows what we're talking about can, you know, obviously relate to it. But, you know, the ones that can't right now will later. Because, you know, life doesn't know, you know, the same people and the same stuff doesn't always hang on. You got to go out there and find something else, or hope it finds you, or however it comes, you know. And, you know, because no matter what anybody tells you, the same people you go to school with, or you went to work with, or, you know, you try to keep in touch, it don't always work. You don't always end up with them around you for the rest of your life. But you know, people can change. As my wife very well knows, you can't just keep going to same ones. They're not going to change if they've got it in their mind made up. You know, they're going to treat you the way they're going to treat you from now on, and no reason to give them any chances. But I'd like to have done some stuff, you know, things worked out different. But like I said, I've all but barred myself from church and pretty much Hardee's, where I used to work. Pretty much barred myself from these apartments up here. Me and my wife, when we first moved up here, we used to take a walk around the block or something and kind of do that once in a while. But, you know, hang on a minute. I forgot I did that.
What?
There we go. Okay. Now, okay. Let's see. But, you know, anyway, pretty much barred myself from you know, doing anything or being around something, a crowd that I just don't fit in. And barring myself, in case my wife forgets, if there ever is the next time, barring myself from even speaking to anybody else's spouses, I am barring myself from that. I have had bad luck when that comes to stuff like that. And at this rate, me or her, neither one needs any more problems out of people's spouses and their butts getting hurt. You know, I've said this to my wife before. How in the world do they get anywhere? How in the world does somebody go out there and even get a job if they're easy to hurt? You know, and I'm not talking about the one we've had up here. Obviously, that's one of them. But anybody, you know, makes you wonder. You know, because you gotta have something about you that can take some form of you know, something. I mean, it can't just be easy to offend all the time. I could just see if a person was like that all the time, how hard, much harder life would be. You know, and it's like I said, that's why I don't bring up religion. I don't bring up politics either. I don't tend to want to hear about drugs and people that's been on drugs. I try to, you can pour it out. It ain't that much. Just pour it out and make you some news. It ain't much. We got a whole thing. We got a whole bunch of extra tea stuff over there. Been buying the mixed stuff. But nah, it feels a lot better shaving with a woman's thing. Shaver. It actually gets pretty much everything. I mean, there might be one or two I can go back and get later on, but I'm gonna let it rest. Don't want to do too much one time. Not go over it one too many times. Get cut. But I like it though. I like that idea a lot better than shaving with one of those shavers. It don't get everything. I ain't felt this much of my skin in a long time underneath my neck and around my mouth. That feels nice and smooth there now. But no, it just, like we say, me and my wife come out and we just make our video to have something to do. It's not really intended on finding anything on the internet or like we said before, we do have our Unicorn Bestie offer available. But I told her, just going to let it come to us, let it show up on its own. But, there's no need to do something that you can't do. With what limited stuff we have and the limited events that we have around here, like I told my wife knows pretty well. Yeah. It's the same 50, 100 people you see every week. Aside from somebody going in a store that might be ordering one of Gene Wade's pizzas, that's about it. And I cut out getting jobs because all of you have some kind of excuse, one way or the other. You'll hire me for a couple of years, just long enough to get my feet wet, and then all of a sudden, virus comes, or I just feel like cutting him because I'm paying him too much. Well, cut me down. No, that's what I would have said to any of them if it came up to me. I would have took less. I wouldn't have about the money. As long as I could get out there and do what I had to do. Me and my wife match on all this, about the same, on everything. And like I said, what little things ain't. Like I told her about that Lifetime channel, I'd like to see that thing be took off the freaking TV. Although, like she said, occasionally, once in a blue moon, if she can find one and she can stomach to watch. But it is so rare that she started watching some of these other channels, trying to get out there, trying to see what else might be out there that she ain't watched. Might have watched back in the day, might be on one of these other channels. We got more than just Lifetime. My goodness, Lifetime was the only thing that we had to offer. I'd be bad if that's the only channel on somebody's TV. But I know a lot of the channels are bad. Well, I know it. That's what I'm saying. We hard. But I mean, it's just a lot of the time it's just stuff that shouldn't even be on TV. I mean, I'd have to go through their library and pick out, if I were over it, I'd pick out movies that I would tolerate for that channel, and it made sense, and that everything wasn't so bad. I mean, that's what they do though most of the time. And like I said, they'll spare you from having to watch a sex scene, but they won't cut the real violent stuff out though. But anyway, there's, like I say, is hopefully something, the good people out here that might be in our shoes, maybe some people like, watch this video might just be, like us, out here, but I haven't seen any. For one thing, a lot of times the reason I don't talk, my wife don't talk very long. So a lot of times people don't make sense. They don't have, and I have gotten a few comments on my videos. They are sparingly. But when I do get one, or, I can't make it out. Can't read it. It looks like, just a bunch of gibberish put together, and it don't make sense. It's not even words. Just, I don't know. Now, whether they're speaking in another language or just fooling around or what the deal is. But I only speak one language. That's what you're hearing right now. Otherwise, I don't speak anything else. And I don't type in any other language. But no, we've practically been home. Me and my wife had got a knock at the door yesterday, and oh God, turned my head, and I thought it might be somebody trying to, that we didn't want to have anything to do with, and then lo and behold, it's our landlord bringing us a little dinner by. I mean, like I said, he was from a church she goes to, I guess. So we'd already actually made our own thing there. I mean, we didn't make a 10-course meal, but since we didn't have much dessert, that little piece of pumpkin pie wasn't too bad. At least there was a little bit of dessert, even though I'm not counting on it. But no, we just did that, and I get on here and I go back and watch. I've been watching some of those presidential things, watching them. I've already watched them 2 or 3 times, but I was putting them on my list, kind of just going back over them, and looking at what might have been, especially that 2000 one. Oh man, that was a doozy one. That was a neck and neck. And like I said, still, it kind of confuses me because at the same time we get out, see, we vote, but we're actually really not really the vote that counts. The popular vote, which would be us, ones that's going out and voting. Now, it doesn't matter for like the sheriffs and stuff like that. I voted Jackie Melton when he was running, for sheriff. But it was also one of the things you could vote on. So I picked him, of course. But no, it's just kind of confusing, and of all the internet stuff I've tried, a lot of this stuff costs money. But they ask, like, what do you look for? Well, at this point, which at the time I didn't have to do as much thinking, but right now, what me and my wife have seen, very little, but what I have seen and I've noticed, I would say this. So if there is just happen to be any woman out here that just happened to watch the video and was wondering, and they ran across this one, well, basically somebody had all their stuff together on the inside, not just what you got outside, but inside it's, if you had kids, make sure they're good kids. Make sure they're, not so rowdy, in the house and run around screaming and trying to get hurt, trying to get in. So if they're, instead of having a good day, you better be at the hospital if you go. And I'm gonna say, and they're gonna say, well, how did this happen? I'm gonna say, because they run around being a bunch of idiots, not listening, But anyway, there'd be things like that. Nobody wants to be sitting at a hospital or anything. But like I said, somebody, if they had all these boxes, hopefully they got them checked off. Hopefully they can understand, me and my wife's ways of looking at things. I know they can if they wanted to. But like I said, preferably the easiest way to have the Unicorn Bestie thing work for us, it'd have to be probably somebody that was either had been around people that maybe had stuff wrong with, or somebody maybe that was somewhat handicapped, but you can still go out there and do all these things that me and my wife like to do, and it's not like you're bringing in somebody that you don't have anything in common with like we have before, but we'll make sure check all things off. And so if you watch one of these videos, if you like Atlanta Braves, we watch them. Like she said, she'll watch stuff on TV, Lifetime now and again or something, and she's got her reborn dolls. I put one of them on, and she's got a collection of those. Like I said, we like to shop. We like all kinds of music. Most of it from the old days that we grew up in the 80s and 90s. And a lot of stuff from the several decades back. Some of them's in the 50s, very few, but there are some. 60s, same way. Stuff like the Beatles. I can listen to 70s stuff. 70s, 80s, and 90s is more our stuff, but Elvis is the exclusion in the 50s. The Beach Boys, they started out in the 60s. So, there's some exceptions, but yeah, a little bit of everything. There's what they call hair metal bands from the 80s, like Poison and Def Leppard and things like that. Some AC/DC's in there. Something that's popular or had been popular, and it, I don't just listen to random people much. Man, if there's a song that just kind of silly or it just makes us laugh. When I was filling out this stuff, my wife was wondering what it was. I'd forgot, that a lot of these sites, they won't let you message people. They won't let you do much, but I put stuff out there. I tried to put our stuff out there on it, but it wouldn't let us do our numbers or addresses or nothing. But I answered some of the stuff, and usually the way I laugh or get me to laugh, usually it has to be something sarcastically done or on the spot, somebody that knows how to be goofy in the sense that it's funny. I just can't watch those. Me or my wife, either one really. I can sit and stare at the TV and not laugh at these comedians on there half the time. Over half the time, really. It's all, when they are trying to be, they think they're being funny, but it's more of the attack of something else or attacking somebody for their physical appearance or outward appearance or the subject that I just didn't deem, too funny. So and most time when they are trying to be funny, they're really not being too funny in my eyes, but more just, But no, anyway, just thought I'd come out here for a few minutes and make a small video. But yeah, our stuff's out there. I've got playlists out there, some different things. So, I don't upload videos. Me and my wife don't. We don't know how to do all that stuff. But I don't have the equipment really for it anyway. I don't think anyhow. But we'll do live videos. But like I said, we're not, color and religion and all these other things we're not worried about. No partiers, no heavy drinkers and smokers and things like that. We're clean people. So anybody into that heavy stuff, stay away. But somebody, like I said, somebody that ain't got a whole lot going on that can easily fit in here. Like I said, me and my wife would have to have a house, a place that we could all go. If we don't have a place, we'll try to, all three of us, put our heads together or something and come up with something and try to get moving. But we are trying to, whenever this does happen, we'll be ready and trying to, have everything packed up that we can and make it that much easier, that much simpler. So if it, like I said, just depends. And friends and family stuff, I'd rather not meet them all right away necessarily. Not being rude, but, it does seem kind of pushy when, people kind of, it just depends. Like I said, it depends. I prefer, I know for me, I prefer not meeting people right away because, of other folks. Because, for one thing, I'd prefer, me and my wife get to know you first before, just because it can determine what you think or how they think, and you might be persuaded to think one way, and we're trying to really get to know you. And then if the focus is on them and talking to them and them kind of pestering us or, making assumptions and and what if what if some of these people were to listen to that and not really give us a chance? So it would do us a lot easier and a lot better if it'd help us if you could keep that stuff as at a minimum to start with and give us a little time to kind of get our feet under us a little bit, get to know you and your kids will be all right. But I'm just saying, just family and all these other girlfriends or whoever your friends are, I'd much rather meet them when me and my wife had kind of got to know what the important stuff is about you and see how you do, and instead of rushing. We had one up here not long ago. about almost a year ago, telling all these things, and I just wanting to tell them about us, and had these numbers in this phone, and it didn't work out too well. Well, and some people say, well, I had to work, I had to do this, and I had to do that. Well, yeah, you can spare 5 minutes once in a while. You come by and say hello. It's not like me and my wife asked too much. No, we're not going to take you in too, or all of you's in, but it'd be nice if we could have a little time, a few months or something. Just me and my wife, and whoever ends up with our being our unicorn best or whatever, have enough time to get everything we need to get out. Inside, outside, whatever, everything. So that way, when you do go to a gathering, or if you have a birthday party, we've had enough time, to kind of, know where everything's going and how it's going to go. But yeah, so just kind of as a refresher, just in case, like I said, you can get our numbers off of here. We've got them on, they go on this channel thing here, or this YouTube thing. It's all out there. Put some stuff out there. Anyway, we'll probably get off here for today. We might make a new one sometime later. All right. Bye.